Hey, this is Mike from the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm looking at a game that I've been playing for a decade, one I really enjoy, and that's Core Worlds. You might have seen on our channel several weeks back my coverage of Core Worlds Empires, which is a new game by the same designer, Andrew Parks, in the same general setting and theme, but a very different type of game, worker placement. This one is a competitive deck builder, which I, like I said, have enjoyed for a long time. But a cool thing is, as part of the new Kickstarter, Andrew has designed a solo deck that lets you play Core Worlds solo, which is, I think, awesome. So in this video, I'm going to do my normal thing, walk you through the basics of how to play Core World normally, then I'm going to explain solo and go through an entire game, and at the end, I'll give you my thoughts on the solo play. And if you want to skip any of that, like you already know the rules to Core Worlds, feel free to use the timestamps. And if you like the work we do here at the One Stop Co-op Shop, please consider supporting us on Patreon for early access to our videos, listen to our weekly podcast, and check out our new streaming channel for live plays. A quick disclaimer that I borrowed Peter's copy of the core game and the first expansion, but we did receive a review copy of the second expansion so we could try out all modes of play. So first, to give an overview of basic Core Worlds, it is, like I said, a competitive deck builder, and it takes place over the course of 10 rounds. And each player starts with the same basic deck, except they each have a unique hero. And each round they get a certain number of actions based on the round, 4 and then later 5 and finally 6. And they also generate energy from the worlds they've invaded. You start with a home world that gives you 3 energy, and some other cards will give you more, but as you conquer worlds, your energy generation will go up accordingly. But the actual gameplay of Core Worlds is really straightforward. It's basically a you go, I go kind of format where one player will take an action, then the next player will take an action. And the actions are summarized here on the left. They're all very simple. You can draft a card from the Galactic Supply by paying its energy cost. We'll see that in a second. You can deploy fighting units to your war zone from your hand, also costing energy and actions. You can invade a world using the units you've deployed, so it's kind of a two-step process. First you put them in what's called your war zone, then you attack. Or you can use a card that says it counts as an action or pass when you don't want to spend any more actions. But these are your 3 basic options: drafting a card into your deck, deploying units, and then attacking with them. And just to see what those look like, when you draft a card from the center, you pay this little center energy cost here. It always costs 1 action. And then when you deploy a unit, or really play any card for its effect, you have to pay this upper left larger energy cost. And units will generally have some amount of fleet strength and or ground strength. And then to conquer a planet when you're invading it, you have to discard units whose total fleet and or ground strength equal or exceed the values of the planet. They're basically strong enough to take it over. And once you conquer a planet, this becomes an energy generation value. And also you can get these Empire points, which are your victory points at the end of the game. Some cards you draft will even have Empire point values as well, although most are 0. Now, while those are the basics of the gameplay, I did want to show you the first expansion, because that really broadens out the scope of the game, mainly because you get these 6 Galactic Order boards. And generally speaking, whenever you play a card that you bought from the Galactic Supply, not one of your starter cards, they'll have one of these icons. And when you play a card like that or put it into your war zone, you get to place one of your faction's tokens on the matching Galactic Order. And this has 2 purposes. First of all, during your turn, you can discard tokens to gain a bonus based on the order, like this one would let me draw more cards. But alternatively, they become a sort of area control source of more Empire points, because in 2-player, whichever player has the most tokens on a given galactic order scores 1 Empire point per token at the end of the game. And the expansion also adds in events that will come out as you're kind of seeding the market with cards you can buy and planets you can conquer, but you'll see all that in action in the playthrough. Now, in terms of the AI, it couldn't be simpler. You just have this big deck of cards. You can modify it based on what difficulty you want to play at. I'm playing at standard, the lowest difficulty, because the AI is still really challenging at that level. And this deck is so simple to resolve because you basically have 2 types of cards, although they have more variations in the deck. The first one will have the AI draft a specific card from those available, so they'll take away cards you might want. And the second one will have them try to invade a world, although just like for you putting out your units and then invading, it's a 2-step process for them. They target the world and then they conquer it. And when you're playing with the Galactic Orders that I showed you from the expansion, it'll tell you how many tokens to put on them. Basically, the earlier they draft the card, the more tokens they put down, because if it was a real game, they would get to play that card more often and get more tokens in that way. And that's basically it. It's a super streamlined AI, but as you'll see in the playthrough, it works surprisingly well to challenge you and give you kind of intersection points to mess with them. Alright, with that, let's jump into the game. I have the starting world for me, Menelaus, and Odysseus. We got some Greek mythology going on here. And because we're playing with the expansion, the version of my homeworld is going to give me a way to draw extra cards and also discard cards for extra energy. And I also start with this little capital city, which is going to give me consistent culling of my deck once I've conquered 3 planets, but you'll see that in a minute. Now, once you're familiar with the game, a strongly suggested variant, and basically the default when you play with the expansions, is to do a draft of level 0 cards to vary up each player's starting deck. And let's see what we got. Experimental Prototype, I really like this one. It's a 2-cost Starfighter with only 1 strength. But at the start of an invasion, I can flip over the top card of my deck, and it gains strength equal to the cost of that card. So it's a nice one because it kind of levels up with my deck as I go further along. Okay, Refitted Freighter, I can spend energy to make it stronger. Swordmaster, I can spend actions to make him stronger. Heavy Machine Gun, another one I can spend energy to make stronger. Recon Fighter, pretty weak, but lets me kind of look through my deck for another card. Retired Flying Ace that can get stronger if I discard certain faction tokens. And that's about it. So a bunch of fleet strength guys and then a couple of ground strength ones. Now to determine who goes first and gets the Destiny token, I look at which of us has the lower value homeworld. I do, so I'll be first. And yeah, because I like how it kind of levels up with you, I'm going to get the experimental prototype for my first one. And how it would work in a multiplayer game is we would go around with each player picking one, and then the last player would pick again. So in this case, the AI is going to pick twice, and you just shuffle these up and take out 2 of them. Okay, in this case, they got a Starfighter and an Infantry. I only really care about their type for the AI, except when they give them victory points. Now, you do have to keep track of the number of cards the AI has for each type, because that's going to influence which kind of endgame cards, these core worlds you see at the end of the game, they're going to target for extra victory points. And they have these cards that kind of track each of them. But just to save space and make it easier to fill, I'm just going to have separate piles of them for now, plus their planets. Alright, let's see. So I could get the Swordmaster, although having extra actions doesn't happen too early, especially early game. If I go for 2 Starfighters, I could already go for kind of a Starfighter strategy and try to get a bunch of them and then get the core world that's worth victory points with Starfighters. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll try to hyper-focus a bit at the beginning. And both those cards go right into my deck. I shuffle it, and I'm going to draw my first hand of 6 cards, and we'll get started. Alright, we're in round 1, and for round 1 and round 2, we're going to have 4 actions per round. For all the rest of the rounds, we'll have 5 until we get to the very end and have 6. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my actions. And the next phase is the draw phase. Your normal drawing is 6 cards. But all the core worlds in the expansion have the power that if the number of worlds you control is greater than the number of units hanging out in your war zone, you draw an extra card. And since I have 1 world and 0 cards in my war zone, there we go. I got 7. Let's see what we got. I've got a bunch of the basic ground units, grunts, just 1 energy and 1 strength. I've got my prototype for a bit of fleet strength. I've got the 2 basic starting tactics that every faction starts with, and combat tactics like these can be played during a combat, so they don't take actions usually, but they still have a cost, and this one just gives me +2 fleet strength if I have at least 2 starfighters, or +2 ground strength if I have at least 2 infantry, so I could get a lot of ground strength with my current hand. And finally, the other basic tactic everybody has, you have 2 of these, is an energy surge. You play it during the energy phase, which we're about to see. You can get 1 energy or 2 energy if your opponent produces more energy from their planets than you do. Right now we're tied because we both have our starting planet. So going into the energy phase, I get 3 from my planet, and I'll discard my energy surge to go to 4. Okay, now we go to the galactic phase, where we see what cards we can draft and what worlds there are to invade. And I'm going to turn cards up until there are at least 6 cards in the supply, and at least 2 planets and 2 cards to draft. And if I get any events, they're just going to cover the topmost event, and only the one that is on the top when I stop dealing these cards out will actually take effect. And in this case, I got sort of a perfectly balanced supply. I got 2 infantry and a tactic to draft, 3 worlds to invade, and 1 new event. And the event says each player may immediately gain 1 action point or gain 1 energy. And generally speaking, only you have to worry about the events, not the AI, except for a few that affect their galactic order tokens and things. So let's see, what do I want? An action or an energy? Pretty much everything I can play right now is going to cost 1 action and 1 energy. Oh, except my experimental prototype. And then also if I wanted to use a tactic, that would be an extra energy without an action. So I'm going to go for a 5th energy. Oh, you know what? Silly me. Before I saw the cards in the galactic phase, I could have discarded 2 cards for +1 energy. Every homeworld has that. But honestly, I like the flexibility of being able to do some fleet strength with my prototype or some ground strength with my grunts. So I think I'd stick with what I had. So let's look at what's available to us. We've got 2 Enviro Troopers. They cost 1 to draft, 2 to deploy, 2 ground strength. You may deploy Enviro Troopers for -1 energy, so only 1, if at least 1 other player controls more worlds than you. Now that's less likely to happen with the AI than it would be like in a 3 or 4 player game. Now about the tactic, costs 1 to draft, 1 energy. During an invasion, you may add +1 fleet strength to one of your starfighters and or +1 ground strength to one of your infantry units. Now I'm already going sort of a starfighter strategy. If I also got some of those guys and went infantry as well, then maybe I could use that. As for the worlds, unusually they all have powers at the bottom. Most of the starting worlds actually don't. And let's see, this one is just 3 ground strength. I could certainly get that. This one's 1 fleet strength and 2 ground strength, 2 fleet strength and 2 ground strength. But this one's worth 1 victory point as well as its 1 energy generation. So let's see, this is +1 energy for each hero in my war zone. There's no prospect of me getting heroes yet. During the energy phase, you may spend 1 energy to draw 1 card. Energy is usually hard to come by, so I don't know about that. And vehicles cost -1 energy to deploy, and I don't have any yet, so none of those are super appealing. Well, having no idea what the AI is going to go for yet, I think I might just draft a card. Let's go for this Pioneer Spirit. I like tactics if they don't take actions. So that just costs me 1. And this will give me the ability to get Mystic Brotherhood tokens on the Galactic Order later for potential victory points. But you don't get that when you draft it, just when you actually play it. Meanwhile, the AI says draft the least prevalent card type. And when it says that, most prevalent or least prevalent, it means in their own supply. So currently they have 1 infantry and 1 starfighter. If they'd been something else, they would have gone for it, because this card makes them want to go for something they don't have a lot of. But here their only option is 1 of the infantry. Doesn't matter, so they're going to take that. And unlike you, they do place their tokens when they draft, because they're never actually playing cards. So it's the first set of rounds, Sector 1, so they're going to place 3 tokens on the Mining Coalition. So the AI shows you pretty early on, because they place the most tokens, what they're really focusing on. And now I'm in kind of a weird place, because if I let them draft that guy as well, they'll have 6 tokens on the Mining Coalition, which will give them a ton of victory points, and that'll give them 3 infantry already, which if you give them a lot of the same type, they can make a ton of victory points from the core world of that type, just like I was trying to focus on getting more starfighters at the beginning. So yeah, even though I don't love that card, I am going to counter draft against them. And hey, maybe I'll even be able to play it several times in the game and fight them on that Mining Coalition control. Oh, but it looks like they were prepared for that. They're going to try to invade instead. So first they would conquer a world if they already had a token on it. They don't. The target prime core world only applies at the end of the game when the core worlds come out. So they're going to target the world with the highest energy generation. The next time they draw a card like that, they will conquer the world they targeted. Now, currently all the worlds that are out have the same energy generation, and the AI is very challenging in other ways, but they are nice in letting you choose whenever there's a tie. So I'm certainly not going to give them the one that's worth 1 victory point. I'll give them the one that makes vehicles cheaper, although that is the one I'll probably go for. It's okay. Now, here's the thing. I see their token there, so if I was able to conquer it first, I would kind of steal their momentum away, because they would suddenly have to play a whole nother card to target a new thing. But drafting that guy really kind of set me back, because to do an invasion, you need to take 1 action and spend 1 energy. I've only got 2 actions and 3 energy left. So I think for now I'm just going to play out 2 more units. I'll play the experimental prototype for 2 and 1 of my grunts for 1. That's 2 actions. It's 1 for each guy. You can play multiple units as a single kind of action set before the AI responds. But that is 2 actions, 3 energy, and then I've got a lot of cards I'm just going to not use this round. So I guess I should have discarded 1 for more energy. Ah, well. Oh, and the AI didn't waste any time. If they'd gotten a draft card, they would have done nothing, because there's nothing to draft. But they are conquering the planet they wanted. So I removed their token from it, put it in their supply. Now, it's not really doing anything for them, because they don't get Empire points. But it will make them have a higher energy output, which, hey, could be good for me. And don't forget, my Enviro Troopers are actually cheaper to play if they have more planets than me, so maybe I'll let them get ahead of me. Alright, and now with 0 actions left, I am going to pass. And the AI automatically passes after you. The only thing is, as you'll see later, if a planet that they're targeting is about to get discarded because it's been in the offer too long, they get to conquer it for free. So we go right into the discard phase. I can keep a single card. Let's see. Neither of these tactics is going to be needed to conquer these planets because their values are so low. So I think I'll just keep nothing and try to get to the stuff I drafted faster. Then we go to the end phase. The AI is going to have the Destiny token now to go first, and we're into the second round of Sector 1. We'll get into Sector 2, where we have more actions, and new cards are coming into the draft later, because the cards that are coming out to be drafted, I should have said this, are key to the sector, and they get stronger and stronger and more expensive. So we get to the new draw phase. I only get 6 cards this time, because I do not have more worlds than units, since I have all these people in my war zone waiting. I did get my hero. Let's show you him, since he'll come up a bit. He costs 2 energy, only has 1 ground strength, but I can spend 1 energy to get +2 more ground strength. So he's kind of like a 3-cost, 3-strength guy, but a bit more flexible. Then I've got a ton of snub fighters, another grunt. And a Metabot is nice. It says after an invasion, you may retain any 1 infantry or starfighter used to conquer this planet, but then you have to discard the Metabot. But that's great for keeping stronger starfighters and infantry you've drafted, like the experimental prototype or the Envirotroopers I got. Alright, then we go into energy. I only get 3, and I have no tactics to get more. I know I have 4 actions. I'm definitely going to discard 2 cards. Let's see, I don't think I need all these snub fighters, so I'll get rid of 2 of those. And that'll get me to 4 energy, hopefully enough to do some stuff. Now we go to the galactic phase, and if there were any cards that already had one of these little energy bonus tokens on it, they would first go away, get discarded, and that's where the AI would automatically conquer them if he already had his targeting token on them. So they won't just give up on a planet because they run out of time. Then you see if there are any cards that don't have those tokens and you add them. And as you might guess, this is a little energy bonus. If you draft a card, you then get 1 energy back, but you have to pay for it first. If you conquer a planet, similarly, you get 1 energy back after invading it. And then we'll fill out the offer, again looking for at least 2 planets and at least 2 draftable units, trying to have 6 cards. And this time we went slightly more planet-heavy with only 2 things to draft. And no new events, so we're still doing the Derelict Freighter. We're going to get 1 free action point or 1 energy. And in my case, because Lord Banner costs 2, I'm going to get the energy in case I get a chance to play him. But the AI goes first this round, and they're going to target the world worth the most Empire points. Now here I'm going to hope that I get lucky with the timing. I'd like to conquer Balthazar, and that's worth 1. I guess worst case I can conquer Argos if they take it. But I'm going to put it here and hope that after I put out some units to help me finish conquering it, that they'll draft something and I can then come in and take it from them. So to that end for my stuff, let's see, I'll do 1, 2 actions. I guess I'll put out a snub fighter and a grunt. Cost me 2 energy. I'd love to put out the Metabot or Lord Banner, but I don't know if I'll have time. Alright, now let's see if I get lucky. Oh, I did! They're drafting the card worth the most Empire points. And neither of them are worth anything. I kind of want to buy the Herald since I was going for Starfighters when possible, so I'll let them take this Star Cruiser guy. That'll get them 3 faction tokens on the Mystic Brotherhood of this galactic order. Alright, now while they're sleeping, I'm going to charge in. And actually, you know what? I might as well use the Experimental Prototype's ability. I get to flip the top card. And of course it costs 0, so he gets +0 power, and I do need my snub fighter. But if I'd gotten a 1, I could have just sent him by himself. Then I need both galactic grunts, so that's 1, 2 fleet strength, 1, 2 ground strength, meeting both the requirements here. So their token gets discarded because I stole it from him, and I'll get 1 energy back. And just to show you its ability again, I'll get +1 energy generation for each hero in my war zone, which means like if I leave Lord Banner just hanging out, I could get extra energy every turn. And whenever you conquer a planet, you can leave any unit that participated in that fight underneath it. So I've been getting extra starfighters. Let's go ahead and leave one of my basic starfighters underneath, just to kind of calm my deck. Now, it still counts as part of your deck if you get like the core world that gives you extra points for a starfighter, for example, but that's all it does. Okay, meanwhile, the AI. Okay, he's going to target the world with the highest combined energy and empire points. So they're going for the other good one, as we might have expected they would. Now, you know, I was going to draft the Herald, but he'll be there for 1 more round. Maybe I'll play Lord Banner since I have 1 action and 3 energy left. And then he'll get me an extra energy generation from Balthazar. So yeah, I'm going to do that, and then I'll pass after the next round. Oh, but I was too slow. The AI is going to draft that Herald and get 3 tokens on Galactic Senate. Now, that'll be their last draft in Sector 1, so from now on they'll only gain 2 and then eventually 1 token for each card they draft. But you can kind of see like the 3 orders they've focused on the most here. Okay, now I'm going to pass, and so will they, and I'll discard the Medbot for now. Again, when I get to my things, it'll give me order tokens. I'll be first player next round, and we're going into Sector 2, so I'm going to start having 5 actions every turn. Okay, we're coming back to the draw phase. I would have 6, but because I only have 1 unit and 2 planets, I go up to 7. And I got my little retired flying ace guy that I hadn't seen. I got my Medbot anyway, snub fighter, both of my combat attacks, and some more basic guys. Okay, so nobody will give me a token yet. Okay, my energy generation is 3, 4, plus 1 from Lord Banner and Balthazar's hero abilities, so I go up to 5 energy. Let's see, I could discard 2 cards to go up to 6. Well, I don't even have 2 infantry, so I'll get rid of tight formation. I need to get rid of 1 more. I don't think I need all of these snub fighters, so let's Just keep 1 in the retired flying ace. So that'll get me to 6 energy. And for the galactic phase, nobody's getting Tiberius. It already had a token on it. Acheron and Argos gain tokens, though. And now we're going to draw Sector 2 cards. All right, we did go up to a new event. Forbidden Science Conclave. Each player may immediately pay 1 energy to draw 1 card of his choice out of his discard pile and place it in his hand. Well, we'll think about that in a second. Only 1 new planet came out. A 2 energy generation. During the energy phase, you may discard 1 starfighter from your hand to generate +1 energy. And 3 and 2, I could definitely conquer that. Or no, actually I couldn't. I don't have enough ground strength. Then the cards, Advanced Drone. It's another one of the Merchant Coalition ones like I already have. As an action, draft 1 card from the Central Zone at a cost of -3 energy. So, not amazing. This kind of gets me 3 extra energy. Actually, that's pretty cool. And then 2 Patrol Cruisers. If you keep it in your war zone during the draw phase, you may discard 1 card from your hand to draw a new card from the top of your deck. Not bad. And then Science Guild, nobody's on yet, but 3 Fleet Strength. I'm kind of already better at Fleet Strength. Now, you know what? I'm first, and I do like the idea of doubling down on my Mining Coalition. So I'm going to spend my first action and 2 energy to get that. Getting a 3 extra energy for drafting in the future sounds pretty good. So that leaves me with 4 actions and 4 energy. Meanwhile, the AI is going to conquer Argos, the world they had already selected. They don't care about the energy bonus, they just take it. Meanwhile, I'm not in love with either of these planets, so I think I'm just going to play a bunch of units for now. So I've got 4 energy and 4 actions. Let's see, I don't really think I need the grunt when I have Lord Banner. So let's do 2, 3, 4, get Medbot, retired Flying Ace. I could use Medbot to keep him. So that'll be all my energy, leaving me with 1 action, but I'll still just pass on my turn. But before I have the chance, they're going to draft the least prevalent card type. They've already got a Star Cruiser, but they're going to get another one. And that'll be 2 tokens on the Science Guild. Just to show you what they've drafted so far, pretty balanced. 2 infantry, 2 starfighters, 2 Star Cruisers. They haven't really gone ham on any specific thing yet. Okay, now my turn. I'm going to pass, forcing them to pass as well. Question is, do I want to keep Coordinated Assault? I already have 2 starfighters, so it would be an easy way to get 2 more Fleet Strength. But I don't need it for either of the planets out, so I'd have to get lucky with like a stronger planet. Now I want to draw into the things I've drafted more quickly, so let's discard it. Okay, we're going into round 4, still in Sector 2. I'm definitely not getting to draw an extra card this turn, because I have way more guys than planets. Let's see, I've got my Prototype, my Grunts. Ooh, there we go, my Pioneer Spirit, and my Enviro Troopers. Good. Ooh, and the AI has 3 worlds where I only have 2, so I can play these guys for only 1 energy. I'll definitely be doing that. In terms of energy generation, it's the same as last time. 3, 4, plus 5, because Lord Banner is out. Let's see, I could discard 2. I'm definitely going to play them for 1. I want to play Pioneer Spirit. I'll probably be drafting something too. Am I really going to play all of these Grunts? I don't think I am. I'm going to discard them to go up to 6 energy. Alright, in the Galactic phase, Acheron is gone. Prometheus and the Patrol Cruiser gets a little bonus. We get a bunch of new planets, just 1 new draft and a new event. Frontier Allies. Each player may immediately discard up to 2 cards from his hand to draw the same number of cards from his deck. Yes, I'll do that. Because the faster you churn through, the faster you get to new cards. Now, I love the experimental prototype, but I don't really need it yet. I'm just going to keep the 2 that have tokens, discard both of those. Oh no, but I got Energy Surge, which is useless because it's not the energy phase anymore. Oh well, I guess I'll just do nothing with it. Unfortunately, he's going first. Let's see what he does. Okay, he's targeting the world with the most energy generation and empire points combined. Which actually is all of them tied because they either have 2 energy generation or 1 and 1. Now the nice thing is I'm strong enough to conquer any of these planets, I think pretty much with what I already have out. But you know what, I don't mind him conquering planets worth no victory points and getting extra energy generation because that just makes my energy surges better. So sure man, get Perseus. And for my first action, I don't want him to get a ton on any one galactic order. I'd like to fight him a bit. So I'll get that Patrol Cruiser that gives you card, discard, and drawing. It would normally cost me 2, but it'll cost me 1. Oh, and I didn't show you our other new card. This one has 3 strength, and it costs less energy if you have infantry in your war zone. I might want to get that too. I don't really have enough ground strength right now. But too late. The AI is getting it. And they're going to get 2 tokens on the Merchant Alliance, which nobody's on yet, so I think I'm okay with that. And as for me, I want to get some cards out, so I'll spend 2 actions and 2 energy. And I'll play both the units I have, a second Snub Fighter, and my Enviro Troopers, which remember only cost 1 energy because they have more planets than me. And that does get me my first token on the Mining Coalition. Yay, I'm on the board! Okay, meanwhile, the AI is going to conquer their world, Perseus. And I'm also going to conquer a world if only you use this Pioneer Spirit card. So there'll be 1 action, 1 energy. Playing Pioneer Spirit will be another one, and it'll get me a token on the Mystic Brotherhood. Now, which planet do I want to attack with my last action? This one is worth a victory point, whereas this one will get me more energy generation, but I'll still be below the AI's energy generation, so my little energy surge cards will still give me extra points. With a +1 bonus to a starfighter and to an infantry, I can easily get that one, so sure, let's go for Prometheus. I have to use either the Envirotroopers or Lord Banner, but I like that I can still keep on getting a +1 energy from him, so let's use the Envirotroopers. And also, you kind of want to use your cards that have the Galactic Order symbols, because then you'll get to play them again and keep on getting those points and tokens. So that'll more than cover the ground strength. For the fleet strength, I can either use both my snub fighters or just my retired flying ace. But you know what? You can overpay, because I'd like to cull a card, so I'm going to use both of them. Why both? Because I want to save the retired flying ace with my Metabot and still end up with more points overall. Actually, that's kind of dumb, isn't it? Never mind, I'll just use both the snub fighters, and I'll keep the Metabot around for the retired flying ace later. So that's 2, +1 for my tactic. 3, I'll get the world, I go ahead and call one of my starfighters underneath of it. And with these ones that just have energy generation, you just kind of slide them underneath and keep track of things that way. And I do get an extra energy, but I've got nothing to spend it on, so not really going to worry about that. As for the AI, ooh, excellent. A wasted action, because there is nothing to draft, so they're just going to do nothing. Excellent. Alright, I'm going to pass, so will they. I guess I'll hang on to my energy surge, because, again, that's going to get me 2 more energy next turn for nothing, so sure. So with that, we're going into Sector 3. We're just about halfway through the game. And I currently have units equal to my planet, so I won't go up to 7 cards, just 6. Oh, and yeesh. Okay, maybe I didn't need to keep that energy surge because I drew my other one. Okay, going to my energy phase, I'm getting 3, 6 energy, and I'm at 5 action still, +1 for my hero. Oh, and my gosh, retired flying ace is a hero too, I'm +2, wow. You know, with that, I really don't think energy is going to be a problem. I am now at 3 planets, which means every energy phase I can cull 1 card of any type under my capital city. I'm going to get rid of one of my 2 energy surges, because those really aren't going to cut it late game. I'll play the other one to go up to 10 energy, geez. Then I've got a bunch of grunts and my Pioneer Spirit, so only my Flying Ace can get me Fleet Strength. We'll see if that's enough. Alright, going into the Galactic phase, we've got both of those with tokens. We've got a new event and tons of draftable units, so those are the only planets out. Let's see, Industrial Disruption. Each player can deploy a maximum of 1 unit during each of their player turns. That is bad for me because I can't kind of get the advantage over the AI by deploying a bunch. And the AI is just going to keep on playing cards and drafting and taking planets, so yuck. I might just not deploy much this round. So yeah, with that, let's look at these cards, because I think I'm going to buy a lot. Okay, Galactic Shipyard would get me Merchant Line, so they only have 2 tokens there. When deploying a Star Cruiser or Capital Ship, discard up to 3 cards from your hand, reduce the ship's cost by 2 for each card you discard. Heavy Repeating Assault Unit, ooh, they have none on this one, which means it would just be straight up victory points for me, probably. During the invasion, you may spend up to 2 energy, add +2 ground strength to this unit for each energy you spend. That is nice. And I feel like I gotta boost up my ground strength more anyway. Warbot is the same faction. He's +1/+1 for each other robot. I don't have any robots. Well, except my Metabot, of course. And then Battle Cruiser, just a solid high fleet strength guy. I guess that would go well with the Galactic Shipyard. But yeah, for my first action, I'm going to spend 3 energy out of my 10 to get the Heavy Repeating Assault Unit. So there we go, down to 7. And the AI is going to draft their most prevalent type. They have 2 infantry, 2 starfighters, 2 star cruisers, 1 vehicle. So that means they're going for the Battle Cruiser, a star cruiser, since that's the most of the types available. And since it's Sector 3, they're going to get 2 more tokens on the Merchant Alliance, so taking them to 4. So let's see, I could go for the Shipyard and try to oppose them on that, or I could just go for the Warbot and double down on that other faction. I mean, what are the chances of playing this 4 times in the rest of the game to even tie them? That seems low. I'm going to go for the Warbot. It's going to take me down to 4 energy. And the AI is going to be ready to conquer a world with the highest energy generation. That's good, so they won't go for the one with a victory point. I don't honestly care if they get this one, although note that they will conquer it automatically if I pass right now, because when it's about to cycle away, they do that for free. So the question becomes, do I draft 1 more card? I guess I could conquer this planet pretty easily with what I have. Or do I just pass now? Well, it seems kind of silly not to get another planet and a free victory point. So sure, let's use Lord Banner for 1 ground strength, the retired flying ace for 2 fleet. We'll keep him in play with the Metabot to get that hero bonus again. Brings me down to 2 actions and 3 energy. I could get the Shipyard. I guess 1 more energy because I'm going to get a bonus from conquering this place. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to hope that the AI conquers because they'll do it anyway. Ah, darn it. Okay, so they are getting the shipyard. It takes them to 6 on the Merchant Alliance. No way I'm ever going to beat them there. Well, hey, but a slight silver lining, there's literally nothing they can do for the rest of their turns except for conquer that planet, which they're going to get for free anyway. So I'm now free with my last 2 actions to play 2 of these guys. Now, the AI does go after each of mine because if their deck runs out, that immediately ends the game. So they'll conquer their world with the first one, and the second one will be a wasted target because there's nothing to target. And no actions left to play my last grunt. I'll hang on to Pioneer Spirit, so I'll discard him as the turn passes. Now as we go into round 6, just look at this. Merchant Alliance, they're huge on. Galactic Senate. I should be able to catch up to them in both of this, and I did get a Science Guild card, so hopefully I can catch them on that as well. Now we're going to 5 actions. And this time I have 4 worlds and 3 guys, so I'm drawing to 7 cards. So yeah, Coordinated Assault, Snub Fighter, my Enviro Troopers, nice. Oh, my new Advanced Drone one to draft something cheaper. My Experimental Prototype, and I still have my Pioneer Spirit. And the AI does have more worlds than me, so I can play the Enviro Trooper for cheap. How much energy am I getting? 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 from the 1 hero I have in play. And yeah, with this guy being cheaper and the drones making my draft cheaper, I don't think I'm going to discard 2 cards. We'll see how that works for me. But I'm very much hoping a new event comes out, because that one was annoying. Oh man, but no such luck. We're going to have to deal with it again. Let's see, some new worlds. 7 fleet strength. Wow, heroes cost -1 to deploy, but 4 victory points? Jeez. This one, after conquering it, you may transfer up to 2 of your faction tokens from their current order cards to new order cards. That doesn't interest me too much. I would like to conquer that, but I don't think there's any way I'm getting to 7 fleet strength. Let's see what else we have. A laser tank. Costs -1 energy to deploy if you have a Star Cruiser in your war zone. Decent. Oh, it is Mining Coalition. I wouldn't like him to get that. Republican Cruiser. Well, the Republican Cruiser is in your war zone. +1 ground strength to your vehicles. I don't really have any. Oh, but Warp Fighter, Starfighter. You may deploy this unit for 0 energy if you have more faction tokens in the Galactic Senate than every other player. They've got 3. I don't think that'll happen. So none of those is great. With my advanced drones, I want to get at least one of them. I guess the laser tank to help me beat them in the Mining Coalition. But sadly, they get to go first. Okay, they're going to target the world with the highest energy generation. And that is lucky for me because they're going for this one only worth 1 victory point instead of the other 2. So first, I'll go ahead and take an action. I'll play my advanced drones, getting a Mining Coalition token to grab... Yeah, I think the laser tank. Okay, no, they're already conquering the world. As for me, I really want to play these cards. Oh, well, you know what? I will draft the Warp Fighter, even though it's probably not going to help me too much. So it'll cost me 3 more in an action. That goes me down to 5 and 3 actions. Okay, now he is going to draft that one. That'll get him to 5 on the Galactic Senate. But now we're back where we were last time, where I can kind of take my time a bit. I just want to get one of those planets, so let's spend 1 action, and let's see, just the Experimental Prototype might be enough for me to get the one that he's probably going to target. So that's 2 actions and 3 energy left. Now he's targeting the world worth the most Empire points. So we'll be Minerva. Alright, now I have a chance to conquer it. So I can do 1 action and 1 energy. It leaves me with 2 left to attack. I need 7 fleet strength. I've got 2, 3 with my guys. I have just enough energy to play Coordinated Assault and Pioneer Spirit. That'll get me to 5, 6. And then if I use the Experimental Prototype's ability and flip the top card, as long as it's at least a 1, I got him. Let's try it. Oh my gosh! So that is now a 5. Yikes. So I don't even need the tactics. Alright, well I'm not going to play Coordinated Assault then. I'll just play Pioneer Spirit to get the 1 token on the Mystic Brotherhood. I do have to discard both of these guys, though, sadly. But I skunked the AI out of 4 victory points. I feel good about that. Let's see, do I want to send one of my grunts and just get rid of them? Yeah, I think I do. So I'll have them get called underneath. Alright, that worked out pretty well. Let's see what the AI does. Okay, they are going to target the next world. And then I could take a turn to play my Enviro Troopers and hope they draft and do nothing. But if that lets them conquer, then they'll be set up to conquer another planet next time. I'd rather kind of have the tempo advantage of them not conquering yet, so... yeah, okay, let's pass. Or maybe not. Darn it. Okay, let's do it, because I want to get the token. Come on, AI, draw a draft card. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so they do nothing. And now I can pass, and they'll still have to waste an action conquering that planet. Let's see, I don't think any of this stuff is worth keeping. Alright, now we're going into Sector 4, close to the end of the game. I have 5 actions. I'm going to draw to 7. Okay, and yikes, I got like a billion tactics and just 3 starfighters. Good thing I have some infantry there to help them out. In terms of energy, I've got 4, 5, 7, 8. Sadly, no heroes to boost it. I like having my advanced drones. And since I have infantry and starfighters, all my tactics could work, so I guess we'll just stay with what I got. Although, actually, should I cull something? Yeah, I don't need this basic snub fighter. Let's get him under my capital city. Alright, our sole planet they're targeting is now in danger of going away. And we get into the really powerful Sector 4 cards. And yeah, Sector 4 cards are the strongest in the game, because Sector 5 is really just victory point generation, pretty much. But hey, we got a new event! Nebula Flares. During the discard phase of this round, each player in turn order must decide whether or not to pay 1 energy for each remaining unit in his war zone. Each unit that is not paid for must be discarded. Oh man, so I either want to, spend all my units capturing a planet, or just not have any. But speaking of a planet, wow, 9 ground strength, but 6 empire points? Yeah, but the problem is I don't think I can possibly get to that much strength. Let's see, how about the new cards? Grand Strategy. As an action, search your draw deck for 1 card, place that card in your hand, and then shuffle your draw deck afterwards. Pretty good, but I don't like that it's an action, giving the AI more to do. Ooh, when deploying a unit from your hand, subtract 4 from its energy cost. That is an awesome card. Nexus Explorer. When deploying this, you may place 1 additional faction token on the Merchant Alliance. But the AI has 6 there. I don't think I'll catch him anyway. Then, wow, this one is worth 3 victory points all by itself. And during the draw phase, draw 2 additional cards. Wow. I like a lot of those, but honestly my favorite is Devotion to Empire. But that means there's no hurry for me to draft it, because even if they tried to draft a tactic, I could get it after they get that one. But again, the real bummer here is I can't get Adonis. I could get this one, but the chances of them not playing a Conquer card are low. You know, but an alternate choice, if I want to get more ground strength, I could discard my 1 token on the Mystic Brotherhood to draw 3 cards. It would make it harder for me to catch up the AI, but that might be worth it. Oh, wait a second. It should be 2 tokens. I've definitely used that twice. So yeah, with that being the case, let's go ahead and do it. So I've got 2, 3 ground strength. Type formation would get me to 5, Pioneer Spirit to 6. So I need 3 more. Okay, Patrol Cruiser's not going to help. Energy Surge is not going to help. Ah, there we go. Heavy Repeating Assault Unit. That'll do it. So let's play the guys I need to conquer that place, but no more, because I'd have to pay energy for them anyway. So Heavy Repeating Assault Unit, that costs 3 energy, gets me to 5. Now let's see, I can spend 1 energy to make him a 4, or 2 energy to make him a 6. So we're already good, I just need 1 fleet energy for this. Which means I'll also play the Experimental Prototype. Yeah, I don't want to waste the Warp Fighter or the Patrol Cruiser. Alright, so that'll be 2 more energy, I'm down to 3. And that should be enough to conquer the planet with some bonuses, draft that 1 card, and then pass quickly. But let's see what the AI is doing. Okay, they are conquering the card they targeted. There we go. Alright, so I'll go ahead and conquer mine. So the Prototype will get me 1. I don't need to discard a card. Then I need 9 strength. I'm certainly going to play Pioneer Spirit, if only to get the token. So that gets me to 3, 4, 6. Wait, 6? Oh man, I still need 3 more power. You know what, I'm running low on energy, so I'm actually going to discard one of my Mining Coalition. I should be able to catch them pretty easily to get 2 more energy. Because that'll give me 1, 2. I can just activate his power, I guess. There's lots of ways for me to get it. I could have also used my tight formation tactic. But either way, that'll get me to 10. And I'll have 1 energy left to draft a card after. So I get Adonis for a ton of victory points. Awesome. I'll put one of my basic grunts underneath it. And all these guys had to be used, which does mean I don't have to worry about paying for them at the end of the round. Okay, meanwhile, the AI is going to draft the least prevalent card type. So let's see, they have 1 tactic total, and the Star Cruisers and capital ships get lumped together, and they have 4 of those. So that's great. I can choose tactic. Actually, I have to choose tactic. They don't get the 3 victory points. So I'll give them the one I didn't want. Well, it does get them another token on the Senate. And then with my 1 energy, I'll play Advanced Drones. That makes it a -3, so I'll get Devotion to Empire, and that gets me a Mining Coalition token back. Now, hopefully they don't draft anything else. Oh, the card worth the most Empire points? Oh my god, that was not good for me. Okay, well, I'll pass before any more damage is done. And I still have a ton of cards. Guess maybe I'll keep the Energy Surge plus the 2 that are worth tokens for me. Well, you know what? I'm never going to catch up to them on the Galactic Senate. Forget that card. I shouldn't have even bought that. Oh well. Oh, I can only keep 1 of these. What am I thinking? I need to catch them on the Science Guild, so let me get rid of the Energy Surge, and hopefully I'll just have enough energy anyway. Alright, going into round 8. 3 rounds left. And I have no cards, so clearly drawn all the way up to 7. Snub Fighter, Metabot, my heroes, Laser Tank, nice. My Warbot, and Galactic Grunts, okay. Let's see, how much energy am I getting? 4, 6, 7, 10. Wait, I forgot. I would have had this Patrol Cruiser, so I wouldn't have drawn the Starfighter. Ha ha ha. I mean, 10 is not nearly enough to pay for even a fraction of these guys. So let's discard some. Now my heroes are 1 cheaper to deploy, and I forgot I can discard a starfighter to get 1 energy. But the only one I have is a hero, so I don't really want to do that. Alright, so let's discard the grunt and the metabot, I guess. That'll get me to 11 energy. And once again, I kind of hope the event goes away. But no such luck, although we do have an even split. And man, 2 planets worth a ton of Empire points again. Okay, the Argosian gunship. After an invasion, you spend 4 energy to retain this in your war zone. Doesn't seem likely, although it is a starfighter. Nexus Explorer, I don't think I ever talked about. When deploying this, you may... Oh, no, that's right. That places extra ones on the Merchant Guild. I don't care. And Speedbot is also Merchant Alliance. Darn it. So I guess I'd just like to conquer one of these. 3 fleet and 6 ground. Well, I'll see if I can do that, but first let's have the AI act. Open them, drafting the most prevalent, which would be Star Cruisers. They're getting this one and another Merchant Alliance token. Alright, so now how to get to 3 fleet and 6 ground strength. The Patrol Cruiser could get me the 3 fleet. And the Laser Tank could get me almost 6 ground, but not quite. And the Warbot's kind of a waste. Oh, I know. Lord Banner plus the Laser Tank. That would get me the 6 ground. And the Patrol Cruiser, but gosh, how much energy is that? That's 11. That's all my energy. I wouldn't have 1 left to actually attack. Oh, no, that's right. Lord Banner costs 1 less, because heroes are -1. So that'd be 5, 9, 10, and then I have exactly 1 energy left. Ooh, and also, this costs -1 energy to deploy if you have a Star Cruiser in your war zone. And I can choose what order I play these in, so I'll play the Patrol Cruiser. It gets me a Science token. That's 4. This will only cost 4 because of it, getting me a Mining token. He only costs 1, so that's 9. I have 2 energy left. So I might as well spend 1 of it to get the Flying Ace out for next time. But that does wipe out my energy except for 1 energy, and that was 4 action. So I'm literally down to 1 and 1, just enough to attack. Alright, let's see what he does. Oh yes, target the world with most Empire points. I love it. Because that's the world that I'm getting. So yeah, clearly my next action, before he gets the chance, that is mine. Although I just realized the sad part. I have no energy left, so I'm not going to be able to keep my retired Flying Ace because of the event. Oh well. Alright, so I guess, you know what, in fact, maybe I just put him under the planet. Yeah, let's say I put him under the planet. Why not? Alright, but these guys all get discarded. And the AI may be angry at me, drafts the card worth the most Empire points. Neither of them is worth any. So I get to pick, but it doesn't much matter, because I don't like either of them, and either way it's going to get them a token on a place they're already winning. So I don't know, take the... oh wait, no. Yeah, I guess Starfighters they have 2 of. Robots and Vehicles they only have 1 of, so I'll take that. Alright, in Pass, we go into round 5. Note that now we get 7 cards as our basic hand. We have 6 actions, and this symbol means we can shuffle our discard pile into our deck if we want to. And yeah, I think I want to. I have a lot of my good tactics in there. And am I going to hang on to the Warbot to play next round? Sure, why not? So here we go, 6 actions. I'm drawn to 8 cards, including the Warbot. Got my tank, grunts, my Enviro Troopers. Good, my advanced drones to draft cheaper. Prototype, my hero, my patrol cruiser. More than I can possibly pay for. Well, I'm actually generating 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 11, 12. And I guess there's no point in culling any of these since it's so close to the end of the game. And here come our endgame cards. Oh, wow. This is maybe good for me. None of the core worlds came out, just these prestige cards, which cost a ton of energy, but when you draft them, you get victory points, and you immediately get a token of the indicated galactic order. So the question is, do I put a lot of effort into conquering a world worth 4 points? Oh man, and this event is still going on? Yeah, that is a bummer, because if I put out a lot of units, I gotta pay energy for them, or I'll just have to lose them again. Well, you know what? First things first. I definitely want to jump ahead of the AI and the Mystic things, and I'm not even tied with them yet, so let's draft that. And I'll use my advanced drones, which will keep me ahead of the AI for the Mining Coalition. So it only costs me 3 to draft instead of 6. I get the token on the Brotherhood immediately, so I'm pretty good there. I'd love to catch them there, and then, gosh, they're just crushing me on here, and you can't see the Merchant Alliance, but even worse over there. And Prestige cards, let's go straight into play. They're just kind of hanging out there as victory points. Okay, meanwhile, they target the world with the highest energy generation. Yes, that is great, because it's worth no victory points. Woo! Alright, I don't think I'm going to draft anything else, so I just want to play cards to get tokens and set up for next time, but I got to save enough energy to be able to pay for my units. Alright, biggest one for me, I think, is the Patrol Cruiser. That'll tie me for the Science Guild. So that'll cost 4, and then I can't afford either of my giant guys. So let's see, Lord Banner would cost me only 1 with my hero discount, and then I need 2 to pay for everybody. Enviro Troopers... we're tied on planets, so they would actually cost me 2 now. Oh, wait, I forgot about my discard 1 Starfighter. I definitely would not have kept this. Or would I have? Oh, God, this is so good, because I might, pull, a +6 attack card. Darn it. Alright, so you know what? Forget Lord Banner, I guess. Alright, so I'll just play the Enviro Troopers for 2 more, then I'll have 1 more than enough energy, and that'll get me another token on that one. Yeah, the rest of this... why didn't I generate more energy? Silly me. Alright, let's see. Oh, okay, they're going to conquer the world. I don't care, but that's good, because now I can just pass and then won't get anything else. See, I'll pass and pay the 2 energy for my 2 units out. And keep 1 thing. Let's see, I got to think which core world I want to conquer next turn. I don't think I've gotten enough of any one thing to make any of them amazing. But the AI has a ton of cruisers and capital ships, but that costs 14 fleets to defeat. I don't know if I can take it from them. Well, you know what? On the hope of being able to, I'm going to keep the experimental prototype, because that could theoretically give me a bunch of power. I'll discard the rest. It does mean the AI passes as well, so both these cards are going to go away when we get into next turn. And here we go, final turn of the game with them starting. Drawn to 8 cards again. Okay, ground strength, energy surge, that'll be useful. Oh, play a card subtracting 4, that could be good. Although, wait, did I not get any of my big cards? Oh my gosh. Well, I might have to use one of my Mystic Brotherhood tokens to draw more. We'll see. Okay, now, energy generation, let's do this right. 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 10. I don't have a hero. Okay, I can discard a Starfighter for +1. Let's get rid of a basic Snub Fighter. And I can discard 2 more. I guess my Metabot. And for my basic Grunt. Then my Energy Surge. The AI is producing way more than me, so I'll go up 2 with that. Alright, we'll see where that takes us. And the crazy thing for round 5 is you just deal until all of the cards are out, so whichever event comes up last will be the one. Alright, so here you go, all the core worlds. You always know what those are going to be. Now let's see which event actually ended up last. Each player in turn order must immediately discard a total of 2 of his own faction tokens from any Galactic Order cards of his choice. This might actually be really perfect, because I get to decide which 2 I discard and which 2 they discard. So let's get rid of 1 from the Science Guild and 1 from the Mystic Brotherhood to try to make sure I take the lead in those. And then for me, I can afford to get rid of 2 from the Mining Coalition and still be in the lead. Alrighty, they're first. Let's see what they're doing. Okay, so they're targeting their prime core world. So now this is where we look at which one will be worth the most victory points to them. And Star Cruiser and Capital Ship is almost assuredly the one they want. That's worth 6 plus 1 for each of those card types, which is 6 more, so that's 12, wow. But actually, this one is 12 as well, plus 1 point for each of their tokens on one order. The most they have on an order is 8, so that's 8 plus 4 is 12. I'm going to say they're targeting that one, because if I put out enough units to get 8 of each attack type, then I'll be able to try to steal it from them. Now, that's a very low chance, but let's go ahead and try it. But first, I think I need more cards to attack with. Let's spend 1 of these. I should get it back to draw 3 cards. Oh, man. Warp Fighter. Okay, I got some tactics, at least. That could help. So let's see. I need 8 and 8. Got 3 and 2. Warp Fighter would make it 7 and 2. That guy could boost all the way up to 6 strength, so he would be enough for the ground. Oh, and the experimental prototype might be enough by itself. So that's 4, 6, 9. But I can play Devotion to Empire to make the 4-cost guy cost nothing. So that'll get me one of the gun faction. And this guy will get me one as well. Warp Fighter will get me the hammer faction, which I don't really care about. That one gets me nothing. So that cost me 2, 5 total. That's almost nothing. I'm at a 9. And then good, I'll be able to use this tactic to get ahead of them in the Mystic Brotherhood. So yeah, it should be way more than enough to defeat that planet. But here's a big moment. Do they draft or attack the world? Oh, they drafted! And least prevalent card type. This is great! Because I can pick which of these they take. I think, yeah, here we go. So awesome. It's only worth 1 victory point, and they're going to take a Knight token, which I already have 3 of, so it won't even give them any chance to get anything from it. Love it! Yeah, I mean, that might be the game-deciding thing here. We'll see how close the scores are. I'm going to take Raven right now. All right, so I need 8 and 8. First things first, I got to discard the top card to see what my prototype gives me. And it'll be 1. Oh no, do I have enough now? So that'll be 2, 5, oh okay, 9. I was always going to be fine, I guess. And then 2, 4, spend 2 energy to get plus 4 for him. So with the invasion cost, I'm down to 6 energy. Oh wait, how many guys did I play? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm down to 2 actions. But good enough. I've conquered Raven before they could. Awesome. And man, now I might just try to pass so they can't get anything else. Oh, and I forgot. I'm going to definitely play one extra to get Pioneer Spirit and beat them on Mystic Brotherhood. Okay, and they're drafting the most prevalent card type. Again, I can give them which one I want. They would tie me if they took Mining Coalition. That's just one more victory point for them. That's one more victory point for them. That would make them beat me on Science Guild. I didn't pass them. And that one's just worth a ton of victory points. So I guess the most innocuous I can give them is the Merchant Alliance one. And yeah, with that then, I'm just going to stop here and make them pass 2. So they never got a core world. That should be good for me. Alright, so let's get into point counting and see how we did. We're tied on the Science Scale, which means it's worth nothing for either of us, so I'll use these to keep track down here. Okay, so first tokens, they actually got too many on the board, so I use a different factions one. They have 4, 6, 8, 9. So 9 points here. They have the most here. That's 6 more, 15 points. Those are the only ones they won on, so there's 15. How about me? I've got 3 here, 6 here, 4 more here, so only 10. But I'm feeling really good about the worlds. So now we just go through. So here's everything I got that's worth victory points. It's not a lot. Okay, 4, 10, 15, 19. We'll get to the bonus in a second. 20, 21, 22. So that brings me to 32. And then I got 1 point for every faction token on the one I had the most of. So that's 4 more. I'm at 36. Not too great. But I did kind of end things early. Let's see how he did. Yeah, I mean, he didn't get a lot either. I feel really good about this. I mean, look how many 0 planets he got with a lot of energy generation. Okay, so 2, 3, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. So what's that? It's only 26? Yes, beat it by 10 points? Man, that was my best victory by far. Although, what a huge swing for me to steal that core world from him and then end things early. So there you go. That was Core Worlds with the new Nemesis solo play. And to give you my thoughts on this one, first of all, I just want to say that I love the core gameplay of Core Worlds, especially with the first expansion. I think the jockeying for position in these kind of area control things, but then being able to spend them for bonuses to get cooler combos on your turn is great. I think it's a great deck builder with lots of strong culling, really cool cards, the need to kind of balance your energy generation, balance which factions you're buying into, so many combos like cards that'll like reward you for getting a lot of robots or a lot of infantry. I think all of that is great. I just love the deck building play in this one, combined with kind of like the Warzone building and combat. It's all cool. Now, how do I feel about the AI after playing with it a whole bunch? Great, actually. I think it's kind of the ideal you want for a game like this with the AI. It plays incredibly quickly, like doing its turns takes no time at all. And it's not even a lot to learn or keep track of, it's just drafting cards or conquering things, that's it. But the key thing is all the intersections between human and opponent work just like they should. Like fighting over the galactic order, seeing which ones you have to give up and which ones you can try to go neck and neck with them for is great. Grabbing planets out from under them, grabbing the cards that'll give them the most points. You have to be heavily involved with what they could be doing every turn if you want to win, which is perfect for a solo mode. Now, if I was going to go looking for some complaints or concerns, and not even saying stuff they should change, probably my biggest one is the fact that they take an action after every one of kind of your action opportunities, which does change up the balance of some things in the game. Like, for example, the Galactic Senate, you can discard tokens to get extra actions, but except for the couple of rounds where you saw, like, we wiped out everything and there wasn't anything left, that's almost never going to be a good tactical idea, because the little bit of bonus you can get from gaining an extra action is not going to be worth them flipping an entire extra card. And same thing with, like, your own cards that'll say, like, hey, as an action, get a card from your discard pile. I think those sorts of cards are less powerful than they would be in the normal game with how the AI works. Now, I think the designer could easily address that if he wants to and just make some kind of blanket rule that things that give you an extra action give you like an immediate action that the AI can't respond to. I think that would be an easy way to do it, but, you know, of course that's up to them to decide. But yeah, other than that, it's been a long time since I played Core Worlds, and this was one of my favorite deck builders back in the day. I'm so happy to see it come back to life with solo. He's talked about even the potential of co-op being down the line. I could totally see it working really easily with multiple AI or something like that. So yeah, I'm all in for this one. Core Worlds, the card game, is one of my favorite deck builders of all time. Definitely want to check out with the new solo play. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.